All right. Welcome, everybody. Super excited that you're on. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Do me a favor. I want to make sure that you can hear tonight. Put a one in the chat if you can hear. Put a one in the chat if you can hear tonight. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. All right. Make sure you share this with friends. Let them know that we are live tonight. We are live tonight on our Now Faith Outreach. Welcome. We're excited that you're here. Super excited you're plugging in tonight. And we're going to be going ahead and getting started tonight. We're giving folks time to hop on. Yeah, tonight's a YouTube live type of night, right? So we appreciate you hopping on. We appreciate you coming in and joining us tonight. We're excited for that. We are excited for that. So make sure that you have something that you are ready to write with. If this is your first time on the night, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to let me know that this is your first time. Put a 2 in the chat if that's you. If you're the first time on to join us, I want to see where we're watching from, where everybody's checking us out from. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you go down and you actually subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel. This channel is just the beginning, right? You guys are in the beginning stage. I thought I had my face on, so my apologies. There we go. Maybe you'll be able to see me. Not quite so sure if you can or not, but we're in the beginning stage of this, really getting everything going. So we appreciate every one of you that are hopping on and plugging in and connecting with us. We're grateful for every single one of you. So thank you all so much for being on. And let's see here. Let me make sure I can get this all set up properly. Hey, look, YouTube is live. YouTube Live is new for me, so we appreciate you for sure for being on. I'm definitely glad that you're here. Definitely glad that you're here. We are really learning to work some things in the background. Let's see who all we have on here now. We got Kaylin, Priscilla, Alicia. I think that's Speakables, if I see that right. Thank you, Chris, Tate, Shanice, Devin, Mike, Chris Johnson, Samantha, Mike Ingram. What's up, bro? Good to see you on. Let's see here, LaShonda, and I think that's, and I'm not even going to mispronounce that name, but it's Chenoa. Welcome. Thank you all for being on. Super excited that you're here. So we're going to be rolling here in just a moment. We're giving folks time to hop on. I'm looking to see how many folks that we have actually on here right now. That's the big thing that I'm looking at, because I want to make sure that everybody's connected. Rachel, okay. Thank you for doing that. I do like to look at names, and that's one of the things that when you're on and you're commenting in the chat, we want to make sure that you also we see you and we attempt to respond when we can. Tonight is going to be a unique night. We're going to be going over a few things, such as just a little bit of inspiration and motivation first and foremost, and then we're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to come on tonight and actually talk a little bit about some basic stuff, basic information when it comes to the trading aspect of things. So, but definitely we always are excited to be connected with each and every one of you. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're supporting Now Faith, and we're glad you're a member. That's a bigger key. So we're looking to make an impact. And we're going to talk about many things throughout our time together. And the time together doesn't mean just on this call. Time together really and truly can be on calls to come. Of course, we're going to be getting into other aspects of Now Faith. What is Now Faith? Well, it's where it's bringing everybody together, right? Not necessarily anything specific other than bringing people together into community, tapping into a community where you have family that you can connect with. You have somebody that you can literally be connected to all the time. That's what Now Faith is about. And that's why this family, this community that's being created And I say created because we are in the early stages. And I say this because I want to make sure that you know that you're here in the early stages of this. There's going to be some hiccups and things along the way, but the great part to this is we are working diligently to make sure that you understand and that you know that those hiccups, the great part about them is those hiccups is part of growth. You know, how many times have you been doing something in your job or in your career or in just in life in general, and you've ran into hiccups, and really just something that got in your way and something got in your way and something got in your way. And when it got in your way, then all of a sudden you're like, what in the world? You know, when am I going to get beyond this? Well, the reason that we're going through these things is because we want to make sure, or you're actually, whatever's testing you is the best way I want to say is wants to make sure that you're truly in the right mind frame. You're truly have the right drive and the determination to make sure that you can get to that next level, make sure that you can truly push through to get to the level of success, the level of growth that you're wanting to see for yourself. And that is truly one of the things that we look at. And that's why when we're coming together in this community, you see things that are beginning to happen. You see things that are moving and going on, and you're like, oh, you know, there might be something that you like, wait, what's going on? Well, it's because of growth, right? The beauty about growth is growth never comes easy. It's always a fight to grow. It's always a fight to grow. Some of you may have your own businesses. You know what I'm talking about. It's a fight to grow. Naturally, in the beginning stage, it comes easy, but to continue growing is the hard part. It's easy to get started, but to continue it is something else. That's just like any routine or anything that you change in your life, whether it be maybe changing your eating style. Man, that's a hard thing. I'm gonna tell you that because look, I'm working right now on making sure that I'm even changing my style of eating. And I've eliminated sugar other than natural sugars from what's in foods, what's normally there. I've eliminated the sugars. And what is that? That is hard. That is a discipline that, look, I love sweets like anybody else. I promise you. Chocolate, that's my downfall. And typically it's not just a little bit of chocolate, right? It's usually a lot of chocolate. But anyways, but that's one of my downfalls. Ice cream is another thing. I love ice cream. So I began to minimize and remove all the sugar for the most part. Very rarely do I have anything that has any sugar in it. And it's amazing now that I've been going for this long that I realize that sugar I really didn't need. And I feel better. I didn't realize what the sugar was really doing to me was actually slowing me down. Now, I'm not typically the one that does a lot of research and goes through and reads through. I know there's a lot of you out there that do. And you know what? I'm happy for you. I'm glad you do. I like to just do me. And the great thing about being part of Now Faith is about being you. That's what Now Faith is. It's allowing you to be you in whatever aspects that it is. So I want to make sure that you all understand that as we grow together and we grow the community together, we're going to go through hiccups along the way, just like life, just like your job. I can keep saying that over and over, just like your businesses. It happens. But the great part to this is we continue to push forward and we continue to push through because we know what type of success lies out there waiting for us. But are we determined to go get it? So with that being said, I want to take a moment here and bring on our founder and creator. I'm going to say our founder and creator of Now Faith, right? This young man has really taken time to really develop the vision to be able to share with us the vision of what we really, want to be able to see ourselves doing. He's taken time to put forth himself to make sure that he can say, look, here's the example. I've gone through this stuff. I've been able to reach these levels because of these certain things. And every morning, if you're connected here on YouTube for the first time, every morning, Monday through Thursday, I can tell you this, that Monday through Thursday, you can hop on over onto the Instagram channel. You can hop on the Instagram and follow Dr. Raphael Spiller. Now, don't fall for the ones that don't have the blue check mark. I want to make sure you understand that. Don't fall for those. Make sure you use the one that has a blue check mark, Dr. Raphael Spiller. And at the end of that username, it has DSN. And the reason we're there is because we want to make sure that that's who you follow. Those nuggets that we get every single morning, Monday through Thursday, are just value that honestly we can't pass up. I had somebody that I had tagged in one of the messages, and I say this because there was a live and it was somebody I hadn't talked to for it's been a few minutes, and they sent me a message back in Instagram, said, hey, thank you for sending me that. I needed that today. And I say that because I want you to know that you don't really know what somebody might be going through, but there's a word that you can hear from somebody that speaks like this motivational speaker that we have, that the successful speaker that we have that goes and has spoken in front of thousands and thousands of people worldwide, that he's sharing the success principles that he has learned and learning still, because that's the one thing I can say about Dr. Spiller is that he's always learning and always growing. So make sure you're connected on the Instagram side directly to him so you don't miss out. But here's the other thing. There's also a Facebook page. That Facebook page is another important area. Now, some of you may think, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. But here's what I can tell you. All three different platforms, you're going to get a different nugget. All three different platforms, you're going to get a different nugget. Those of you that are on live with me right now, I want you to type in the comments if you've got a nugget from every single one of those platforms that you've connected with. If you've been able to do that, type in a 1, because this is where the value comes in. This is where I want you to understand. He is coming on to share the knowledge he has, not to keep you from getting that knowledge, but to help you use that knowledge to grow. And that is what I love about Dr. Spiller. I have been around millionaires, and I've been around multimillionaires. And here's what I can tell you. None of them were willing to really share with me what it took them to get to the levels that they got to. They might share a little bit once, but to come on 8 times, 9 times a week sharing, that's what we need to make sure you tap into. That's what you need to understand that we're connected to, and that you should be too. So make sure you subscribe to this channel below. That's one of the great things about this. But not only that, I want to make sure you understand Dr. Spiller has been a phenomenal trader, been one of the best software creators that I've ever seen. And he's looking to always just share knowledge with us. So if y'all are ready for Dr. Spiller to come on, y'all got to start dropping some 7s, because we want to make sure that we get that energy up, because as we get our energy up, that energy is going to be transferred right into his life. That energy is going to transfer into his energy. And guess what he's going to do? He is going to turn around and just give back as much knowledge as he can, like he always does. But make sure we drop some 7s. I know we got a delay on YouTube, so we appreciate you. We're grateful for every single one of you. But do me a favor, let's welcome the one and only, the creator, the founder of Now Faith, Dr. Raphael Spiller.
Thank
Doctor,
you
there?
I appreciate it. How you doing tonight, brother?
I am excited.
Oh, I'm glad you're excited. How's our YouTube audience looking tonight?
Man, they are on and ready to go tonight.
Oh, man, I'm so happy that you guys have decided to join Randy and myself as we are working diligently to make sure that you are getting in the know. This is my first YouTube price action course. And I said I wanted to start teaching on YouTube these price action classes, as I believe that it's going to position you to be successful in your trading. So tonight, there are people on Instagram tonight. I'm doing my live training via Facebook, and YouTube. We're going to go to make sure that my link tree to on my link tree is a link to my YouTube channel. So we're going to make sure that on my link tree is a link to my YouTube channel. So you guys can come and join me there. You really want to jump on and be a part of what we're doing as we cover price action and what price action is, how it works, just everything. You're going to want to be a part of this as we talk a lot about it tonight. So if you want to connect with me, get to the link in my bio and connect with me on the link in my bio and attend these free courses that I'm actually teaching. Free, 100% free. Now, Randy, how are we going to do? I guess I won't be taking any questions on this. I'll just do the teaching component. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. But we have a lot to cover tonight. Let's jump on this training tonight. We're going to cover price action patterns and what those price action patterns mean, and why you should be paying attention to them. Tonight's class is on the doji. Tonight, we're going to cover the doji. What it means, looking at it in its entirety, and asking yourself why you want to find the doji candle when you're trading. We're going to talk about that. Why, and the doji, D-O-J-I, is what we're going to be teaching on tonight. The doji and the power of this candle, which represents indecision. Next price action class, we're covering engulfing candle. But tonight, I'm covering the doji. I really want you to pay attention to this tool, this one candlestick pattern, because what it says is wait, a decision is being made. And so that's what we want to look at about the doji. We want to really cover it. We want to really look at it, get a good understanding of it. I'm going to be sharing some things with you tonight that I feel are going to help you take your trading to the next level. And so tonight, we're going to cover what a doji is. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick this definition in the chat. Well, I'm going to put it on the chat. I'm going to put it on the screen where you can see it. Okay. Okay, one moment. That's not going to work. We're going to look at this and see what it is. I'm going to put some definitions here for you, and you can get these definitions, I think, if nothing else. Now, I want you to tell me if you can see this as I make this larger so you can see the definition. Give me 1 second here. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the definition. How many of y'all see the definition of a doji? We're looking at the definition of a doji tonight. Definition of a doji tonight. Make sure you pull it up. A doji is the name for a trading session in which a security is open and closed that are virtually equal, as represented by a candle shape on a chart. Based on this shape, technical analysis tends to make assumptions about price behavior. Doji candlesticks can look like a cross or inverted cross or a plus sign. We're going to talk about this tonight. And as we talk about this tonight, I really want you to really understand the key takeaways of a doji. All right. I'm going to talk about this. How many of y'all can see my, well, Randy will tell me. Hopefully you can see this because I can't. And we're going to look at these different things about a doji is. First things first. Dojis are technical analysis to help identify. Dojis are technical analysis to help identify security price patterns. So the first thing that you're going to look at when you're looking at a doji is you're going to be looking to see, okay, identify a price pattern. So when you see a doji, the purpose of a doji is to identify a price pattern. The second reason for a doji, I want to make sure that you see this. I'm in the classes at 7 today. All right. The second reason, a doji is a trading session where security has an open and close virtually equal, represents cancel each other. All right. It comes from the Japanese phrase meaning same thing. The doji candlestick is a neutral indicator providing little information. They are rare. I want you to understand this, but they are reliable for spotting price reversals. Are you catching that? Are you catching that? Are you catching that? So the purpose of a doji is to start showing you where there's an indecision or where there's a probable price reversal. I'm giving you these definitions so that you'll understand what it is that we're talking about. And you can actually see, let me see here. All right, and what are we going to see here? Different types of dojis. So these are the different types of dojis, right? You have a gravestone doji, a long-legged doji, or a dragonfly doji, right? And each one of these dojis represent a particular price pattern in the market. Now, we're going to talk about these dojis because I think the overall thing that people are missing is that when you see a doji, you're supposed to pause because a doji represents the sign that price may be reversing or a trend could continue. So when we look at a doji, what are we looking for? We're looking for a price to make an indecision. Price do what? Make an indecision. And so we're going to look at some indecision candles. This is an indecision, right? So when price comes and makes an indecision, when you start seeing dojis, price is slowing down. So whenever you start to see a candle that looks like this, right? Or like this, or like this, or like this. All right, these are dojis, but these are signs of what the market is actually telling you, guys. And I want you to start paying attention to these signs. Now, when I start trading, right, and I'm looking at a trade, for instance, I'm always going to look at my doji on my higher time frame. And I look at this doji here. We just saw this doji. Look at this doji here, which represents indecision. Guys, I want you to start looking to find your indecision candles. And as you find your indecision candles, make sure you hear me, that's where you're going to be looking for your price to make a decision. That's where you're going to be looking for price to make a decision. Okay, so whenever you're talking about a doji, we're looking for indecision and then a decision to be made. So then when price is moving down in a direction, right, when it gets to a place where it looks like it may do a reversal, it will then form a doji. Now, where it forms a doji, you want to pay attention to the candle right preceding the doji. Now, I want you to do this for me. When you see a doji price point, right, what you want to do is ask, where is the trend on the doji, right? If the trend is going down, is this doji a probable reversal? Is it going to reverse? Well, how do I know that it's going to reverse? The first thing I want to do is I want to mark the high of the doji, and I want to mark the low of the doji. So I'm going to mark the high, I'm going to mark the low. Then after I mark the high and the low, I'm going to find the median. So I'm going to have the high, the low, or the middle. Now, I want you to understand that when you're playing a doji, you're looking for the break of that doji, right? Then you want it to retest. And then you want it to continue to make its move, right? So whenever you have a doji, play for the break of structure. Whenever you have a doji, play for the break of structure. What you really want to see is if it's a reversal, you want to see the candle that comes out here, you want to see it engulf the doji. Now, this means a decision has been made, and you want to start trading with that decision as long as they don't take out the low on this doji. All right. And so if it's a price reversal for a, in this case, that was a buy. If it's a price reversal for a sell, and that price opens up here at the top and it engulfs, then that means a decision has been made. So I want you to start looking for your doji. And then after you find your doji, I want you to look for the decision. So we're going to go with doji, and then we're going to go with the decision. We're going to go with the doji, and then we're going to go with the decision. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I go and look for the doji on the day chart. I look for my day chart doji. I look for my day chart doji, and I play my breakout on my day chart doji. I'm going to show you that tonight. First thing I'm going to do when I break out my doji, I'm going to go here and I'm going to get me a shape. I'm going to get my triangle, and I'm going to mark the high and the low of my candle. When I mark the high and the low of my candle, remember also I'm going to mark the median. So I'm going to mark the high, I'm going to mark the low, and then I'm going to mark the median of my move. So in order to find the median of my move, this is the day chart. I'm going to take this fib tool, and I'm going to draw the middle on my fib tool. So again, what I do is I mark it, the high and the low, and I mark the middle. And so what I'm going to do is play, I'm going to watch how price plays my middle, right? I want to see price engulf in this area. So then when I have that there and it's set, I'm then going to drop to my lower time frames and play for that breakout. For instance, here, if I did that, again, the doji, notice how the doji is marked. Notice how the doji is marked. So we have that whole doji marked. Make sure you see it. This is the doji here. The whole doji is marked on the 4 hour, right? And so now, what are we playing the breakout for, ladies and gentlemen? We're playing this breakout, right? We're playing this breakout on this doji below this level. And as we're playing this breakout on this doji, this is very important. As we're playing this breakout on this doji, you know we want to see price clear above that doji. Now I want you to see this. So remember, this is the high of the doji, this is the low of the doji, and this is the middle. Now, if you notice the high, the low, and the middle, notice how price played off the middle, and off the middle, we have an engulfing candle to trigger this trade. We have an engulfing candle to trigger this trade. One of the things I love with the doji is when I have the doji, I'm going to drop to my lower time frame. Write this out. I'll take a day chart doji candle, right? I'm going to mark that day chart doji candle too. So I'm going to take the day chart doji. I'm going to mark the high and the low. Right, I'm going to do the high, and then I'm going to mark the low. And then I'm going to play for the breakout above the median or below the median. Breakout. And then I'm going to break out above the median or the mid. right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pray for the breakout above the mid. Now, I'm going to have my day chart doji. I'm going to mark my high and my low, and I'm going to pray my breakout above the mid. Now, one of the things I am going to do is when I drop time frames, my objective is to look for an engulfing candle on that lower time frame to break my doji. I'm going to drop time frames, right? And when I drop these time frames, I'm looking for that doji in this high and low. And then once I find that breakout, I'm going to play that breakout on that high and low. Right? And that's how I play the structure. Let's go find, that was Nas. Let's see if we have a doji on gold. If we were looking at gold, and I'm going to ask myself, is there a doji before the move? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can see an indecision candle right here. How many of you see the indecision that's taking place? I'll just find an indecision candle, right? So when I find the indecision candle, you know what I'm going to do? It doesn't matter. I'm going to mark the high and low, and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to find my indecision candle, right? Right as structure. I'm going to go high and low, and then I'm going to drag cross. High, low. How many of you see the high and low of that doji? Excellent. We have the high and low. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I have to mark my mid, right? I'm going to mark my mid. That's my mid, and I'm going to play off my mid. Do you see the doji? Do you see the mid? I'm going to write them on there, the high. So we have the high, we have the low, and we have the mid, right? So we have the high, the low, and the mid. Now, on that high, the low, and the mid, what are we playing for, ladies and gentlemen? The breakout. We need that breakout. And I think you see price respected that mid. I need an engulfing candle. I need an engulfing candle going down. Where's my engulfing candle going down? And I have the engulfing here. I saw it on the other day, but the engulfing candle here went down. Then I have another engulfing candle off of this doji, showing me that it's still going to go down. And I have another doji that's forming, and it looks like I have another engulfing candle forming off of that doji. How many of y'all are seeing what I'm doing with this doji? And what I want you to do is always think about indecision when you see it. Yes. Always think about indecision when you see it. When you see that doji, the first thing that should go in your mind is, that is a doji. All right. Now, what am I going to do with this doji? What am I going to do with the doji? I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the doji. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see if there's any movement with this doji of a breakout to show me where price is moving. A good thing for you to start doing from now on is just go to start look for your dojis. Look for your dojis. And once you look for your dojis, guys, make sure you hear me when I say this. Look for your dojis. Once you find them, mark the high, mark the low, and look for that indecision. Guys, dojis, you want to write this in your notes. You want to get the doji at structure. Not just find a doji. Go find previous structure and mark that doji. I'll say it again. Go find previous structure and wait for a doji to get to that previous structure. When that doji gets to that previous structure, guys, what you're going to have is indecision. And from that indecision, you know what you need to do. Wait for it to make a decision. You're going to wait for that decision by an engulfing candle. I want to see me a doji. And right beside that doji, I need to see an engulfing candle. Now, what does the engulfing candle symbolize? The engulfing candle symbolizes that price has made a decision out of the indecision. I'm going to say that again. It means that price has made a decision out of the indecision. And let me tell you something, all dojis are not equal. I really like my high time frame dojis, my high time frame indecisions to make a decision. I really like my high time frame indecisions. Now, when you start finding those dojis on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, those dojis are not as strong as a doji on the high time frame, which is why I always suggest find the doji on the high time frame and trade that doji on the higher time frame. You'd be surprised how many people skip out on this technique, skip out on this strategy, simply because they don't understand what price is doing. I want to find that indecision. And once I find that indecision, I want to let price make a decision. Now, when it makes a decision, I'm patient, because when it makes a decision, my stop loss goes under the decision. Say it again. My stop loss goes under the decision. Make sure you get that. My stop loss goes under the decision. Make sure you get that. My stop loss goes under the decision. So when that doji comes out, and then there's an engulfing candle right next to that doji, right? My stop loss is going under that. Now, one of the things that I teach my private mentorship, I gave them an indicator that helps them define and understand and see order blocks on their trade. So once they see that order block, guys, that's what I love. I like to see an order block pop up on the chart. And once that order block pops up on the chart, I am then watching for my doji around that order block. I want to watch my doji around that order block to see what that decision is going to be made. If price is going to break that doji, break that order block, and then use that order block as support resistance or resistance, support or resistance. Let's say it that way. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So these are prospective order blocks. Now, inside this order block, I'm looking for a doji. Inside this order block, I'm looking for a doji. Inside this order block, I'm looking for a doji. I need a doji in this order block. What do you need in the order block? A doji. What do you need in the order block? A doji. I need an order block, because in this order block, I'm also, with the order block, I'm marked by mid. I'm always going to mark my mid. I'm always going to mark my mid. And I'm going to play the engulfing off of my mid, right? So I'm always going to mark that. I'm going to see what's happening. And when I do that, I'm going to mark my mid, and I'm going to pray for the breakout on that level. So let's say I have the high and the low, and I'm playing this breakout. I'm always going for a half a percentage when I do this breakout. When I have a doji and a breakout like that, I'm always going to go for the TP1 and then TP2 on that move. I'm always going to do that no matter what. I'm going to take TP1, which is half of the move. Then I'm going to go with TP2, which is the finality of the move, based upon this doji and the break of that doji with the engulfing candle. How many of y'all see indecision and then this candle come up? Right? There was indecision, and then this candle came up, and then we had another engulfing candle, right? And I want you to see how price plays on top of our order block, our demand zone. And you can see those dojis. Look at those dojis, guys. Come on, this is what I'm teaching you. Look at those dojis on top of that box. Look at those dojis on top of the box. And so when I see dojis sitting on top of an order box or a demand zone, I'm waiting for a breakout. And there it is right there. This candle tried to come back in and reverse it, but it didn't matter. It hit this order block and then kept buying. I want you to understand the power of the doji and how this doji is benefiting you by allowing you to see how price is moving. Does it make sense? Yes or yes? I said, does it make sense? Yes or yes? Of course it does. Right, and so now we're going through, and all I do is I look for dojis. I look for what? Dojis. Right, I just look for dojis, and I'm waiting on that indecision. I'm gonna play it out of supply demand. I'm gonna look for the doji. I'm gonna play it out of supply demand, and I'm gonna make my decision. Guys, you can do the same thing by spotlighting your doji. Your price action. If you are going to really allow the doji to help you, you've got to understand your level of patience in letting the doji sit there, and the engulfing candle, the decision candle, the trigger candle, whatever you want to call it, that candle then shows you, tells you, or lets you know that it's indeed time to trade. Guys, I want you to be able to take your time in doing this. This is not a fast procedure. You can't go through this fast. You're going through this slow. You can't go through this fast. You go through this slow. You can't learn how to trade fast. You can only learn how to trade slow. And you have to take your time with this. I really want you who are listening to me to take your time with recognizing these price action patterns and what these patterns can do. Let's move on. I want to show you something else as pertains to the doji. We talked about it being indecision. We talked about it being a sign of the reversal. I want to talk about this reversal component, guys, because people ask me all the time, Doc, how long should I stay in the trade? How long does I stay in the trade? Well, when a doji comes in, right, in the middle of your trade while you're trading it, right? Say you're trading that buy and that doji comes in the middle of that buy. When that doji comes in, you should start paying attention to that doji, especially if the doji is that structured, because the doji is signifying a reversal is probably going to happen. A reversal, say it again, is probably going to happen. And that's one of the things about the doji. When I'm watching you guys trade, and I watch people trade with me, and they're asking me like questions on, you know, hey, do I get in? Do I get out? Do I get in? Do I get out? Do I get in? Do I get out? One of the things I want to tell you is that when you get in, you're getting in because price has made a decision. You should never get in the trade until a decision is made. When is that decision made? After the doji. When is that decision made? When they make an investment of an engulfing candle. So when you see an investment of an engulfing candle or a morning star pattern after that, or a shooting star pattern after that, when you start seeing those price action patterns that let you know that either bears are in the market or bulls are in the market, they're letting you know that after a place in the market, after they have entered a place in the market where price is no longer moving. I want to make sure I make sense of that. So I want to show you something as you're on with me tonight. Let's have some fun. And I want to show you how I trade with the doji. I want to show you how I trade with that doji. This is going to be pretty exciting. And I want you to follow along with me, because I'm going to show you, like, okay, Spiller, how do you trade with that doji? Let's see. I'm going to show you this a couple of times. I'll do a couple of different strategies. And as I do those different strategies, I'm going to show you how that strategy works. If you're excited about it, all right, make some noise in that chat. I want to play this on something that might help you misunderstand it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Doc. Let's go to the day chart. Thank y'all for saying I have a gift to explain this. I appreciate it. Let's go to the day chart. AUD USD. Let's look at that. All right. Where is the doji? AUD USD. This is a downtrend. How many of y'all see the downtrend? Right. So in a downtrend, I need price to pull up to a high and then give me a doji. In a downtrend, in a what? In a downtrend, right? If I'm going to enter this downtrend, I need a doji to reverse to a high. And I need a doji to send it down to a low. So then in a downtrend, there's going to be the doji for the reversal. There's the reversal doji or the retracement doji. And then after the retracement doji, then there'll be another doji to continue in the trend continuation doji. So you're going to have the first doji to pause, the second doji to re-enter. Now, how do I know where that doji is? Those big candles, right? How do I know? They put a big candle in to stop it. So indecision, big candle to stop. So once they put that big candle in to stop, it has to go up and form an indecision to move down again. So there's going to be an indecision to an indecision. Guys, that's how the doji works. the indecision to the indecision. Say it again. The indecision to the indecision. So then when I'm looking at this, I'm going to say, okay, I want to go from one indecision to the next indecision. I want to go from one indecision to the next indecision. Indecision. Right? So price pulls up, it gets up here, the bulls pull it up here, and then they give you an indecision. Now, once they give you an indecision, right? Out of this indecision, they come back and start swinging this back down to go lower. Then gives you another indecision, then it goes lower. Then it gives you this indecision, it pulls up. And so notice all these indecisions in here. You have to do a doji before there's a move. Are you understanding? So what I do is I'm going to first find my doji for my trend continuation. Right? I'm going to go and I'm going to mark the high and low of this doji and I'm going to pull it. And then when I mark the high and low on my doji, I'm going to drop my time frame and I'm going to find my engulfing candle on my high time frame to put me in this trade. Right? I need my engulfing on my high time frame to put me in. And here we are here. Bam, bam, bam. Do you see? Now, I want you to see that even on the hour chart inside of the day chart doji, there are dojis on the hour chart. Y'all, I need y'all to catch what I'm saying. So then it's dojis to doji. So this blue box is one whole doji. So this is a doji. Now inside the doji are dojis. You got doji and doji. That's baby on baby. That's doji on doji, right? That's doji on doji. So you got doji on doji, right? And so you got indecision to make an indecision to make a decision. And so what y'all supposed to be doing consistently to do this right is you're looking for indecision. I need this indecision. 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. 5, 6. So it's been an indecision and then it broke down on 1, 2, the third day. So on the third day, it broke down. 1, 2, 3, and there it is, right? Now I want you to see what happened here. It went indecision to a decision to a drop. Now what you don't see is if we drop time frames, there's an doji up here on the lower time frame. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a doji up here. Let's see if we can find it. We down on the 15. Let's see if it's on the 5. There'll be a doji up there. They ain't playing. Oh Lord, I don't know what I did. Did I move that path? I must have messed it up, but let me move it a little bit. This is it. I'm trying to catch the 5-minute chart on it. That is. I'm looking for a doji, and I want to show it to you. See the little candle right there? It's so small, you can't even see it. How many else? Look, it's so small. That little doji, as small as it is, caused this reversal. This little doji right here off of this big candle here, this little bit right here stopped this trade on this thing and then sent this back down. So what I'm trying to show you is dojis, you find them on every time frame, and on every time frame they mean the same thing. They mean indecision. So I took you right here and showed you right here where that small little doji was and led to this big move all the way down. There was one small candle. Guys, do not estimate the small size of a doji, for inside of that doji is a man's hidden wealth. Do not underestimate the size of a doji. For inside that doji is man's hidden wealth. They be hiding big money in those dojis, guys. Big buy orders, big sell orders, big limit orders are sitting inside those dojis, just sitting there and just wait. They know nobody can take them out, so they sit that doji there and they just wait. And they just wait. And they just, that limit order, and they just wait. And then all of a sudden, bam, someone comes. See, they have years to hold a trade. These big investment bankers, investment houses, they have years. They have years to wait for a trade setup. We trying to trade for the day. They trade for right now. They trying to okay, they trading for years. I want you to get this. This is very important. Okay, let's see. We wanted to make sure, I don't want to bore you, and I think I've given you enough tonight to start with. I want to start, and I want to say a couple of things to you. I'm a software designer. I've designed my own software. I've designed my software with these order blocks that you see right now, for those of you who are listening to me. This is a software that I've created, and I created this software because, like you, I'm a trader as well. And to create this software, I put several parameters on it to where this software, if done right, can position you to trade effectively as you begin to trade. And one of the things I show our students is with these order blocks, how you can trade just from order block to order block, or from supply to demand. We're showing our students how to do this and how they're taking these trades just by using this. So tonight, as I bring this to a close, I want to show you how I use this software to actually trade with. Now, the first thing I want to have is my supply demand, my supply and my demand. But I've coded my software where I can take my higher time frame supply demand zones, and as I take my high time frame supply demand zones, I can then use those high time frame supply demand zones on lower time frames, where I can see my structure on the low. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about so that you can use or desire to use this software as well. So now here we are with this, and I drop to my 1 hour time frame, and that's what I'm usually trading with. So on my 1 hour time frame, right, one of the things I taught our students here today is at this D low, we'll trade from this low to this high. Well, how do I know where my low to high is? I've coded arrows to teach and show where our highs and our lows are. And so we teach to be able to see the high and the low with the arrows that we give them. So these arrows are coded to show them extreme highs and extreme lows. Well, we have a blue arrow here. As a result of us having that blue arrow, this tells me that at this level, I was at an extreme low, right? Extreme low, right there at that level. But price is breaking through this extreme low, right? And that arrow is telling me, okay, how do I know how to trade this? Well, guys, I've been teaching this for a number of years. One of the things I say is I give you the box and I give you the arrow, right? And I give you the box and I give you the arrow. Now pause. Not only do I give you the box and the arrow, I give you special candles where you can see the break of structure inside the candle. We'll make sure that you're seeing that. So now, when the candle changes color, it signifies a break of structure, right? It signifies a break of structure when it changes color. So I gave them that as a confirmation. And so they know as long as it's red, they're trading it down to the next order box. Now, I gave this and that so that people can easily see their entries and their exits, but I did this. So now we know above this level, we're getting a buy above our order. So if price breaks above here, we take that buy. But when do we take the buy? Here. I coded where you can see the day chart support resistance level. And our buyers are here, our sellers are below here. Right? And so this is like our basic software, along with what we call our directional movement. Now, this is something I've added, this directional movement, to give people a sense of direction of where the market is going. So I'll put the day chart here. And I know that the day chart is selling based on my direction. Not only I put the day chart here, watch this, and I'm going to show you how we're using this. And I'm going to put the 1 hour chart here. And then I'll put the 15-minute chart here, just so that I can get me a good entry on my chart. So now I have the day chart direction, I have the 1 hour direction, and I'll have the 15-minute direction here. Well, one of the things I teach our students is when the day direction is red, the only thing we were looking for is an extreme high, which is what my arrow gives. So on this extreme high, they would have been taking this sell because on the day chart, we have a selling trend. Are y'all seeing that? And so this is how those arrows work. Many people now are using this software just to say, hey, I want to be able to take this trade. Well, when does it line up on the hour? Well, that's why I have this coded so you can see when the hour chart and the day chart come into alignment. I want you to see it when the hour chart and the day chart come into alignment. So we have our extreme level, right? And we have the breaker structure on that. And I want you to see it when the sell becomes strong right here, and it all falls. But then we drop to the 15 to take our entry. Again, we're just using a 15-minute chart to take entries. And there is my entry arrow. Wow. Pretty cool. So I need my extreme high. And I need my sell. And this was a total of 100 pips on AUD USD. And that was today. Guys, if you understand and then watch this, I bet you there's a doji up here. How much y'all want to bet there's a doji up there? Let's look and see. I bet you we have a doji. And then after the doji, the engulfing candle. This is my class tonight. Here's the doji. And there's the engulfing candle. My candlestick patterns would have showed you. This is on one of my advanced softwares. So I have an advanced software that actually comes with the candlestick pattern on it. So when you see the doji, it'll give you the bear cross, which is your entry, the bearish engulfing, the bear cross, which is another entry, bearish engulfing, which is an entry. You understand? Bear cross, right? And then it gives you the structure on which. And the great thing about this is people just move their stop loss to each one of these levels. And just holding the trade and just moving your stop loss. You see that? And so when it breaks, it shows you where you can move your stop based on where they put in their money. Right? And your stops is hanging above this because that's where they put in their money. Guys, this is the daily order block that you're seeing. That blue is the daily order block that you see up here. There it is. If you want more information on how you can use this software, if you want more information on how you can partner with me and trade with me and my family, all you got to do is there'll be information provided. There'll be a link right now. We're dropping a link right now. Now that link goes to my link tree. Goes to my link tree. I want you to go to the link tree, and there is information. You can get signals from me. You can join my signals chat. I do give out signals in my signals chat. I do trade live several times a week. 3 times a week, as a matter of fact, with our team. I want you to be able to see that. So I do trade live Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We trade live. I'll say it again, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. As a matter of fact, I'll show you some of the things that we have going on. One second. Let me show you this. I'll give you a brief review. Where is that at? One second. I'll let you guys see that. All right. If you can see, we have what we call a market review. We do that on Sundays. We trade live with our team. We give out signals to them as well. But we do trade live 3 days a week. You can come and join us, join the community. There are several of us who are in the community, and this is my signals chat. There are people who are joining the signals chat. You too can join the signals chat. Right now, we also have the community called NFO, our NFO family, guys. There's no better family than the NFO family. And we are in here all the time, right? And this is our family right here. Here are some of the screenshots of the money that they are making and the tools that they're using, right, in this group chat. Guys, this could be you. You can be a part of this as well. All you got to do is hit that link. And once you hit that link to connect with me, find out more information, go to my link tree. Do that right now. When you go to that link tree, that's going to give you all the information you need to be able to connect with me on a deeper level. I love to teach you of the principles of success that have got me to live where I am right now. I'm not boasting and bragging on what I have. I'm only saying that the skill I've learned has allowed me to live a life of freedom. I don't promise any profits. I don't guarantee any profits. I'm just a beggar who found some bread. I'm trying to show everybody where the bakery is. If that's you and you want to partner with me, you want to connect with me, go to that bio. I have so much that we can connect on. I look forward to connecting to you on that level. My name is Dr. Raphael Spiller. They call me Doc Spills. I approve this message and thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Follow up with us. See what we have going on. Listen, my mentorship program is second to none, and I'm getting ready to start educating and getting people in this learning process so that they too can be successful in their trading endeavors. If you're ready to partner with me, work with me, operate with me, work with my team of coaches, then make sure you hit that link tree. I'm looking forward to working with you. Guys, I'll see you on the other side of your yes. And if not, I do this every Tuesday at 7. Come join me every Tuesday at 7. And I guarantee you, we're going to go over another price action tool. We're going to go over the engulfing candle next week. We're going to break that thing down just so that you can see how you're supposed to trade the engulfing candle. I look forward to seeing you next week. Same